The financial mistakes that keep you poor and how to avoid them. Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered, where did all my money go? Not after buying something expensive, not after taking a vacation, just after living a normal month. You worked, you earned a paycheck, you didn't make any outrageous purchases, yet somehow you're back at the same place, waiting for the next payday, promising yourself that next month will be different. Then next month arrives. Nothing changes. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For most people, staying broke isn't caused by one catastrophic financial decision. It's the result of dozens of small choices that feel harmless in the moment. A subscription you forgot about, an impulse purchase after a stressful day, a credit card payment that seems manageable until it quietly becomes permanent. These aren't dramatic mistakes. They're ordinary. And that's exactly why they're so dangerous. The biggest financial traps rarely announce themselves. They don't arrive with flashing warning signs. Instead, they disguise themselves as convenience, comfort, or rewards you've earned. Over time, those tiny decisions begin shaping your future. Not because you're lazy, not because you're unintelligent, but because money doesn't respond to good intentions. It responds to consistent behavior. Imagine two friends who earn exactly the same salary. One believes wealth is created by earning more. The other believes wealth is created by keeping more of what you earn and making every dollar work. 5 years later, their lives look completely different. The surprising part, their income barely changed. Their habits did. That's what this audiobook is really about. This isn't a lecture telling you to stop buying coffee or never enjoy life again. Money isn't the enemy. Spending isn't evil. The real question is much deeper. Which financial habits are quietly stealing your future without you even noticing? Throughout this audiobook, we'll uncover the most common money mistakes that trap millions of people in an endless cycle of financial stress. More importantly, we'll explore practical ways to replace those habits with better ones without needing a six-figure salary, winning the lottery, or taking impossible risks. Because financial freedom rarely begins with a bigger paycheck. It begins with seeing money differently. Once you understand why people stay poor despite working hard, you'll start recognizing patterns that were invisible before. And once you see those patterns, it's much harder to fall into them again. Some of these ideas may challenge beliefs you've held for years. That's okay. Growth usually begins where comfort ends. So, if you're ready to stop wondering where your money disappeared, if you're tired of living from one paycheck to the next, and if you want to build a future where your finances create peace instead of anxiety, then let's begin with the first mistake. It's so common that millions of people make it every single day. Most of them never realize they're doing it. Chapter 1. The Income Illusion. Why earning more doesn't automatically make you wealthier. For most of us, the equation seems obvious. More income equals more wealth. It sounds logical. If you earn twice as much, you should be twice as financially secure. Yet real life tells a different story. Think about the people you know. You can probably name someone with a high salary who still worries about money every month. They drive an expensive car, wear designer clothes, and live in a beautiful home. But behind the scenes, they're juggling debt, making minimum credit card payments, and feeling trapped by bills. At the same time, there are people with far more ordinary incomes who sleep well at night because they have savings, investments, and very little debt. The difference isn't always income. It's what happens after the paycheck arrives. One of the biggest financial mistakes people make is believing that earning more will automatically solve their money problems. That belief often delays the habits that actually create wealth. Imagine someone who earns $50,000 a year. They dream about making $80,000 because they're convinced life will finally feel comfortable. A few years later, they reach that goal. the celebration doesn't last long. Soon, they move into a larger apartment. Their car payment increases. Weekend dinners become more expensive. Vacations become more luxurious. Monthly subscriptions multiply. Before long, every extra dollar they earned has been quietly assigned to a new expense. Their income grew, so did their lifestyle. Their financial stress stayed exactly the same. This pattern has a name. It's called lifestyle inflation. The more money people earn, the more they often spend. Not because they have to, but because the new lifestyle quickly starts to feel normal. What once seemed like a luxury becomes an expectation. Yesterday's dream becomes today's baseline. That's why some people receive raises year after year and still feel as if they're falling behind. Their spending keeps chasing their income, and it never stops. Wealth isn't measured by how much money passes through your hands. It's measured by how much stays with you. Every paycheck gives you a choice. You can use it to buy a slightly bigger lifestyle, or you can use part of it to buy a stronger future. The challenge is that the future never competes fairly with the present. A new phone gives you excitement today. An investment account gives you almost nothing to look at today. One feels rewarding immediately, the other rewards patience. Our brains naturally prefer immediate pleasure, even when it costs us much more in the long run. Companies understand this. That's why advertisements rarely ask whether you can afford something. Instead, they ask whether you deserve it. Over time, those messages shape how we think. Success starts looking like visible spending instead of quiet financial stability. But genuine wealth often looks surprisingly ordinary. Many financially successful people don't feel pressure to impress everyone around them. They understand that every unnecessary purchase carries a hidden cost, not just the price on the receipt, but the future opportunities that money could have created. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy what you earn. Money should improve your life. Celebrate milestones. Take meaningful trips. Buy things that truly matter to you. Just don't confuse a rising income with a rising wealth. One is what you earn. The other is what you keep, protect, and grow. That shift in thinking changes everything. Because the path to financial freedom doesn't begin when you receive a bigger paycheck. It begins the moment you stop allowing every bigger paycheck to create a bigger lifestyle. And once you understand that, you're ready for the next financial mistake, one that quietly drains millions of dollars from households every single day without anyone noticing it at first. Chapter 2. Paying yourself last. Most people follow the same routine every month. A paycheck arrives. First come the bills, then groceries, rent or mortgage, fuel, entertainment, a few online orders that seemed like good deals, maybe a dinner out to celebrate making it through another busy week. At the end of the month, they check what's left. If there's any money remaining, they'll save it. The problem is there usually isn't. This habit feels responsible because every expense seems justified, but over time, it creates a cycle where saving depends on luck instead of a plan. We often treat savings as an afterthought rather than a priority. People who build wealth usually reverse that order. Instead of saving what's left after spending, they spend what's left after saving. It sounds like a small change, but it completely shifts the way money flows through your life. Imagine receiving your paycheck and automatically moving 10% into savings or investments before touching the rest. That money is no longer waiting to be spent. It's already working toward your future. The amount doesn't have to be large. What matters is consistency. Saving $100 every month for years often produces better results than promising yourself you'll save $1,000 when things calm down. Because somehow, things rarely do. Life always finds a reason to spend more. There will always be another sale, another subscription, another unexpected expense. If saving only happens after everything else is paid, your future will always come last. Think of your savings as a bill you owe to your future self. Just like rent or electricity, it deserves a fixed place in your monthly budget. The goal isn't to deprive yourself of enjoyment, it's to create balance between today's happiness and tomorrow's security. Financial freedom isn't built through one perfect decision. It's built through hundreds of ordinary ones, repeated month after month. When you consistently pay yourself first, you're sending a simple message. Your future matters just as much as your present. And once that habit becomes automatic, something unexpected happens. You stop wondering whether you'll have money left to save. You already do. The next mistake is even subtler. It doesn't look dangerous at first, but it quietly convinces people to spend money they haven't earned yet and keeps them trapped in debt far longer than they ever expected. Chapter 3. The Credit Card Trap. Spending tomorrow's money today. A credit card can be one of the most useful financial tools you'll ever own. It can also become one of the fastest ways to lose control of your money. The problem isn't the card itself, it's the illusion it creates. When you pay with cash, you feel the money leaving your hands. That small moment of discomfort makes you think twice before spending. Swipe a card instead, and that feeling almost disappears. The purchase feels effortless. The bill comes later. That's exactly why it's so easy to spend more than you planned. Many people tell themselves they'll pay the balance in full next month. Then an unexpected expense shows up. They make the minimum payment, promising to catch up later. Later turns into months. Months turn into years. Meanwhile, interest quietly does its work. A purchase that once seemed affordable becomes far more expensive than its original price. You're no longer paying for the item alone, you're paying for the time you borrowed the money. This is how debt slowly takes control. Every monthly payment reduces the amount you can save, invest, or use to create new opportunities. Instead of your money working for you, it's working to cover decisions you've already made. That doesn't mean credit cards should be avoided altogether. Used wisely, they can offer convenience, security, and valuable rewards. The key is simple. Never treat your credit limit as extra income. If you can't comfortably pay the full balance when the statement arrives, the purchase probably wasn't affordable in the first place. Financial freedom isn't about buying everything you can today. It's about making sure today's decisions don't steal tomorrow's choices. The people who stay in control of their finances understand one important rule. Borrow for assets that have the potential to grow in value when it makes sense. Be cautious about borrowing for things that lose value the moment you buy them. Money is easiest to manage before it becomes debt. Once interest enters the picture, every dollar has to work much harder just to help you catch up. The next financial mistake doesn't involve banks or credit cards at all. It begins with something much simpler. A purchase made on impulse that feels harmless for a few minutes, but quietly adds up to thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Chapter 4. The Cost of Impulse Spending. Have you ever bought something you weren't planning to buy, only to wonder a few days later why you wanted it so badly? Almost everyone has. Impulse spending isn't usually about the product, it's about the emotion behind the purchase. Maybe you had a stressful day at work. Maybe you felt bored, lonely, or frustrated. Shopping offered a quick burst of excitement, and for a moment, it worked. The problem is that the feeling fades much faster than the money. Modern marketing is built around this idea. Limited time offers, flash sales, countdown timers, and personalized ads are all designed to create urgency. They encourage you to act before you have time to think. And when buying something takes only a single click, saying yes becomes incredibly easy. One impulse purchase won't ruin your finances. Neither will two. But dozens of small, unnecessary purchases every month can quietly consume thousands of dollars each year. It's rarely one expensive decision that hurts your financial future. More often, it's the steady drip of small expenses that seem insignificant on their own. A simple habit can make a surprising difference. The next time you want to buy something you didn't plan for, wait 24 hours. Give yourself time to ask a few questions. Do I really need this? Will I still want it next week? Am I buying this because it improves my life or because it improves my mood for a few minutes? You'll be surprised how often the urge disappears. This doesn't mean you should never treat yourself. Enjoying your money is part of a healthy financial life. The goal is to spend intentionally, not emotionally. Every dollar you choose not to waste becomes a dollar that can strengthen your future. Small decisions may not feel powerful in the moment, but repeated over months and years, they shape the life you eventually live. The next financial mistake is one many people don't notice until it's too late. It isn't about spending too much, it's about believing that someone else will take care of your financial future. Chapter 5. Waiting for someone else to save you. Many people believe their financial future will improve on its own. Maybe they'll get a raise next year. Maybe the economy will improve. Maybe one great opportunity will finally change everything. Hope isn't a bad thing, but hope is not a financial strategy. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for the perfect time to start building wealth. They tell themselves they'll save when they earn more, invest when they know enough, or create a budget when life becomes less busy. That perfect moment rarely arrives. Life always brings new expenses: a bigger home, family responsibilities, unexpected repairs, or rising prices. If you keep postponing good financial habits, you'll always find another reason to wait. Financially successful people think differently. They don't expect someone else to rescue them. They don't rely on luck, government programs, or a dream job to secure their future. Instead, they take ownership. Even small actions matter. Learning how investing works, building an emergency fund, tracking where money goes each month. These habits may seem ordinary, but over time, they create something powerful: confidence. When you understand your finances, uncertainty becomes less frightening. You stop reacting to every setback because you've prepared for them. No one can predict the future. Jobs change, markets rise and fall. Unexpected challenges appear without warning. But preparation gives you choices, and choices create freedom. You don't have to be perfect to improve your financial life. You simply need to start before you feel completely ready. Because the people who build wealth aren't always the smartest or the highest earners. They're often the ones who stop waiting. They accept that no paycheck, promotion, or lucky break will matter if they never develop the habits to manage money wisely. Your financial future is built one decision at a time. The sooner you begin taking responsibility for those decisions, the sooner your money starts working for you instead of working against you. In the next chapter, we'll look at another costly mistake: ignoring the power of investing, and why leaving your money idle can be more expensive than you think. Chapter 8. It's never too late to change your financial future. One of the most damaging financial beliefs has nothing to do with money. It's the belief that you've already fallen too far behind. Maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, or even later in life. You look at people who started investing years ago and think, "I missed my chance." That thought is understandable, but it can also become an excuse to do nothing. The truth is, your past financial mistakes don't have to define your future. What matters most is the decision you make today. Every financially successful person has made mistakes. Some spent too much, some saved too little. Others waited years before learning how money actually works. The difference is that they eventually stopped looking backward and started making better decisions. You don't need a perfect financial history to build a better future. You need better habits. Start with one goal. Create a monthly budget you can actually follow. Build an emergency fund, even if it grows slowly. Invest consistently instead of waiting for the perfect time. Avoid debt whenever possible and spend with intention instead of emotion. These steps may seem small, but that's how lasting change begins. Financial freedom isn't created by one life-changing decision. It's built through hundreds of ordinary choices repeated over months and years. Remember, wealth is not reserved for people with the highest salaries. More often, it belongs to those who stay patient, remain disciplined, and keep learning. No matter where you are today, you still have the ability to write a different financial story. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is today. Because every dollar you save, every smart decision you make, and every habit you improve moves you one step closer to a life where money is no longer a source of constant stress, but a tool that gives you freedom, confidence, and choices. And that is the true purpose of wealth. Chapter 6. Letting your money sit still. Many people believe saving money is enough. They work hard, set aside part of each paycheck, and leave it in a regular savings account for years. It feels safe, and safety brings peace of mind. But there's a hidden problem. While your money sits still, prices rarely do. Food becomes more expensive, rent increases, healthcare costs rise. Even everyday necessities cost more than they did a few years ago. This is the quiet effect of inflation. It doesn't empty your bank account overnight. Instead, it slowly reduces what your money can actually buy. That's why simply saving isn't always enough. To build long-term wealth, your money needs the opportunity to grow. Investing isn't about getting rich overnight or chasing the latest trend. It's about allowing time to work in your favor. Even modest, consistent investments can grow significantly over many years because of compound growth. The returns begin earning returns of their own, creating momentum that becomes stronger with time. The biggest advantage isn't starting with a large amount, it's starting early. Someone who invests a small amount every month for 20 years will often be in a much stronger position than someone who waits a decade and then tries to invest much larger sums. Time is one of the most valuable assets an investor has. Of course, every investment carries some level of risk. That's why learning before investing is just as important as investing itself. Understanding what you own and thinking long-term can help you avoid emotional decisions. Remember, cash is important for emergencies, but if every extra dollar remains idle forever, your financial future may slowly lose ground without you noticing. Wealth grows when money is given a purpose. The goal isn't to make your money work harder for someone else, it's to make it work for you. In the next chapter, we'll explore the final mistake and perhaps the most dangerous of them all, believing that it's already too late to change. Chapter 7. Buying status instead of building wealth. It's easy to believe that looking wealthy is the same as being wealthy. A luxury car, the newest phone, designer clothes, or an expensive watch can create the image of success. Social media makes this even harder to ignore. Every day, we're surrounded by carefully selected moments that make other people's lives seem richer than they really are. After a while, comparison becomes automatic. You start feeling as though you're falling behind even when your finances are perfectly healthy. This is where many people make an expensive mistake. They begin spending money to impress people who aren't paying their bills. The truth is, appearances can be misleading. Someone driving a luxury car may still be struggling with debt, while another person driving an older vehicle may have a healthy investment portfolio and complete financial peace of mind. Real wealth is often invisible. It doesn't always show up in what people wear or drive. More often, it appears in what they don't have: high-interest debt, constant financial stress, or the pressure to keep up with everyone else. Financial confidence comes from knowing your future is becoming stronger, not from convincing strangers that you're successful. Before making a major purchase, ask yourself one simple question. Am I buying this because it adds value to my life or because I want other people to notice it? That question alone can prevent countless needless expenses. There's nothing wrong with enjoying nice things when you can comfortably afford them. The problem begins when status becomes more important than stability. The people who achieve lasting wealth usually delay expensive rewards until their finances can truly support them. They understand that financial freedom is far more valuable than temporary admiration. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to become financially secure enough that you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the final financial mistake, and perhaps the most dangerous of them all, believing that it's already too late to change. By now, you've seen that financial success isn't built on one brilliant decision. It's built on consistent habits. The people who achieve long-term financial security don't have perfect lives. They simply follow a few principles over and over again, even when progress feels slow. The first principle is simple. Spend less than you earn. No investment strategy can overcome a lifestyle that constantly costs more than your income. Creating space between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth begins. The second principle is to pay yourself first. Treat saving and investing as monthly priorities, not leftover options. Even small amounts, invested consistently, can make a meaningful difference over time. The third principle is to think long-term. Financial growth rarely happens overnight. There will be months when progress feels invisible. Stay patient. The results often appear much later than people expect, but they can be far greater than they imagined. Another important principle is to keep learning. The world changes, markets evolve, and new opportunities appear. The more you understand money, the more confident you'll become when making financial decisions. Finally, remember that wealth isn't measured by what other people see. It's measured by the freedom you have. Freedom to handle emergencies without panic. Freedom to make career choices based on purpose instead of desperation. Freedom to enjoy life without carrying constant financial stress. These principles aren't complicated. They're practical. The challenge isn't understanding them, it's applying them consistently. Every smart decision, no matter how small, moves you a little closer to the life you want. And while the journey may take years, every step is building something far more valuable than money alone. It's building peace of mind. In our final chapter, we'll bring everything together and leave you with one lasting idea that can shape the way you think about money for years to come. Chapter 10. Final Takeaway. Your financial future starts today. Take a moment and think back to where we began. We didn't start by talking about stock markets, business strategies, or secret formulas for getting rich. We started with habits, because that's where every financial story begins. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored the mistakes that quietly keep people trapped, believing that a higher income will solve every problem, spending before saving, relying too heavily on credit, making emotional purchases, waiting for the right time, leaving money idle, chasing status, and believing it's too late to change. None of these mistakes happen overnight, and neither does financial freedom. The good news is that every habit can be replaced with a better one. You don't need to transform your finances this week. You don't need to double your income by next month. You simply need to make your next financial decision a little wiser than your last one. Small improvements may seem insignificant today, but over the course of years, they can completely change your future. Remember, money is a tool. It can create opportunities, reduce stress, and give you the freedom to make choices based on what truly matters, not just what you can afford. The goal isn't to become rich just for the sake of having more. The goal is to build a life where money supports your values instead of controlling your decisions. So, as you finish this audiobook, don't ask yourself, how much money do I have? Ask a better question. What financial habit will I improve starting today? Because your future won't be shaped by one lucky break. It will be shaped by the small choices you repeat every single day. $1 saved, one unnecessary purchase avoided, one investment made, one lesson applied. Those moments may seem ordinary on their own, but together they become the foundation of lasting wealth. Thank you for spending your time with this audiobook. If even one idea from today's discussion changes the way you think about money for years to come, then you've already taken the first step toward a stronger financial future. And remember, wealth is not built by what you earn once. It's built by what you choose to do with your money again and again for years to come. Your journey starts today.